What's up, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I'm your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over SmackDown for December the 2nd, 2022. We are in the final month of the year 2022. It's been a crazy year for professional wrestling. We've seen retirements, we've seen returns, we've seen returns from people being fired from WWE, we've seen potential ending relationships between big draws in other companies. We've seen a lot of stuff go down here. I haven't all that crazy stuff that happened. But this is SmackDown here. This is a very fun, very fun episode of SmackDown. I thought we've seen a return here tonight. We've seen the finals of the World Cup. We've seen looks to be the newest match for the Royal Rumble, which was originally supposed to be Roman Reigns and Kevin Owens for the championship at the Royal Rumble. That seems not be looking likely. And we'll actually go into that in a little bit. We also seen, like I said, a return of Tegan Nox. She is back after a few months of speculation from the dirt sheets that she would be on her way back to WWE. What was holding her back was visa issues, but she is back tonight. We also have a potential return happening in the form of former Impact Wrestling legend and former Impact Wrestling champion, uh, former NXT Tag Team champion, the former leader of SAnitY, Eric Young, who finished up with Impact Wrestling on Thursday night, being written off of Impact Television by being murdered by Diener, who now is the new leader of Violent by Design. And it looks like, according to PW Insider, Eric Young is on his way back to WWE. We'll talk about that and much, much more. I need you guys to hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below, follow the social medias at Misfit Wrestle TV on Twitter, Misfit Wrestling Pod on Instagram, Misfit Wrestling Podcast on the Facebook, and right here on youtube.com/ at Misfit Wrestling Podcast. So let's talk about this Eric Young situation here. Eric Young, like I said, former leader of SAnitY, now the former leader of Violent by Design, finished up with Impact Wrestling on Thursday night. He was supposed to challenge, or he was it was a promo package with Diener and Young in a prison, and Young was murdered by Cody Diener, and now that was writing him off television. PW Insider then later made the report a few, not even minutes after the show ended, that Eric Young has agreed to come back to the company. Then Fightful Select, go subscribe to Fightful Select, did confirm to the report from PW Insider that Eric Young is on his way back to WWE. And I tweeted out not even 2 months ago that it's not a coincidence that that we find out Eric Young, who was earlier 2 months ago, the report was that his contract ended in December, which it did, obviously, and that he is going to be back on WWE television very, very soon. I did tweet out that it's not a coincidence, or it can't be a coincidence that that we find out that Eric Young's contract is fixing to expire at the end of the year. Nikki Cross goes back to her SAnitY character, and Killian Dane, the former Killian Dane, Big Damo, and Axel Tischer, formerly known as Alexander Wolf, just so happen to be free agents at this very moment. Cannot be a coincidence. People I've talked to, not going to tell you who it is, have told me that there is a SAnitY reunion being planned, and it's basically all but confirmed at this point that Triple H is bringing back his faction of Chaos, and that's gonna be fun. I'm excited for it. Hopefully, I was a big fan of SAnitY. A lot of people you should know this back in NXT when they were killing it in War Games and being the tag team champions, having great matches with the Authors of Pain, which had one hell of a match that had no right to be as good as it was at Takeover Brooklyn, which is one of the shining moments from Alexander Wolf's run in NXT, regular NXT that is. Then that excellent performance by Wolf and Dane at War Games. Wolf, of course, went on to do stuff with Imperium. Um, he had an excellent match with who was it that Wolf had? There was a match that I really enjoyed that Wolf had in NXT UK, but I don't remember who it was with. Killing Dane went his separate ways in NXT. He teamed a little bit with Matt Riddle. Or no, he feuded a little bit with Matt Riddle. Had a excellent no disqualification match with Matt Riddle. Then he did a team. He started teaming with Drake Maverick, which I wasn't up for at first, and then it grew on me, which was great stuff. Television. Then Killian Dane and Drake Maverick eventually got fired. Dane is going back to the independents. He was working. He did some. I think he did go back to ICW. He's the current Progress Wrestling champion. He did make an appearance in AEW on Dynamite, challenging I think it was for the TNT Championship. Who had it? I think it was when Sammy Guevara had it. Sammy was a babyface. They had a fun little match. Alexander Wolf went back to Germany, moved back to Germany to compete for WXW, became the WXW champion over there. Went back to his old name of, or I believe it's a real name, Axel Tischer. Eric Young, like I said, went back to Impact following his release in 2020. Went in as a surprise appearance at I think it was either Slammiversary or Bound for Glory. It was one of those shows. He came as the surprise name for the main event. Didn't win the championship. He won the title a few weeks later. But then he had his own version of SAnitY in Impact called Violent and by Design. Of course, that all is over with now. Nikki Cross, who went by that terrible gimmick of Nikki ASH. It's just was not very good. The moment Triple H took over creative after Vince stepped down, I think one of his first plans of action was to put Nikki Cross back as Nikki Cross. So we got that SAnitY character now, and I think SAnitY will be coming to Monday Night Raw soon, depending on if they want to keep Nikki Cross on Raw or not. But yeah, that's what I think is going to happen. That's what I've been told them is probably the plan. So that sounds like a lot of fun. Hopefully we'll see what happens here. If there is one man that could give this group another run on the main roster, it's Triple H. I said it from the beginning when they brought that group up to SmackDown. They shouldn't have split Nikki Cross from the group. That was one of the nails in the coffin, and then them just losing to The Miz. Thankfully, when they come back to the main roster and they come back to WWE, hopefully Triple H doesn't have to put him with The Miz. Put those three with The Miz, because we don't need to see that shit. Becky Lynch. We're going to go through this little story here. Becky Lynch filmed a Marvel role for the movie Eternals. She filmed this is coming from Fightful Select. Go subscribe to Fightful Select. She filmed a post-credit scene for the Eternals to set up future installments. The scene in question was to involve another actor, Harry Styles, who would play Star Fox. Was a little quote unquote too depressing, so they didn't use the footage. But they may bring her back because it's not that they didn't like her acting. 'Cause she did a great portrayal impression of Cyndi Lauper on Young Rock, which was actually she looked the part and she played the part very well. She made her film debut in the Marine 6 movie. I only know this because I watched the movie. I only watched it because Becky Lynch was in it. I did not give a shit about uh, anything else in that movie. Thankfully, that's the last Marine movie. Thank God, because those movies are fucking shit. I mean, maybe the second one was okay because Ted DiBiase was not bad, but that's neither here nor there. Um, but yeah, that's basically what's happening here. Um, so there you go. There's that. Um, there is that. We got the story on Roman Reigns getting having heat with Kevin Owens, and this actually goes into the opening of SmackDown. We'll talk about SmackDown a little bit, but let's talk about the heat following Survivor Series. So here is the story from Fightful Select about Roman Reigns being heated after the War Games match at Survivor Series. Fightful Select has learned Roman Reigns was visibly upset after the Survivor Series main event, specifically about a spot within the match that it was rumored among those that we spoke to that Reigns took the spot. Uh, uh, took exception to this to what he received as an unplanned or what he perceived as an unplanned spot between he and Kevin Owens. He walked backstage. He mentioned possibly of having a ruptured eardrum. Uh, Basically, foul language was used, and it was clear that everyone that Reigns was not happy. Those that we spoke to, within those we spoke with, didn't believe there would be any extended heating regarding they basically called it in the heat of the moment. Uh, there was no physical altercation, um, but they would be willing to work together, coexist for the storyline. Uh, Another news story about Roman Reigns is according to multiple sources, Roman Reigns handpicked Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn to be part of this major storyline. So who knows about that? But we do have something a little different. That's a little different here from Kermit125 on Reddit, who is very very good at the news stuff. I reported that Cody was going to be challenging Seth Rollins at WrestleMania, and Asuka was going to feud with Becky Lynch upon her return. Um, Becky Lynch was going to be the fifth member of War Games, and I think he said Bailey and Bianca Belair was going to be a last woman standing match. So no, not last woman standing match. The Extreme Rules match was going to be the Extreme Rules pay per view was going to be the ladder match. So he says Reigns being heated after Survivor Series is accurate. Triple H asked them to address it in the locker room. There was a yelling altercation, but nothing became physical. Owens facing Reigns at the Royal Rumble. It was the plan, according to WrestlingNews.co. But now that's up in the air. Sheamus is likely the replacement, and we've seen a little bit of that on SmackDown tonight. Another match that's also being rumored for the Royal Rumble. We'll get to that when we get to that segment. But that's basically the stuff that's happening with all that news outlets there and stuff. Let's get into the actual show here. SmackDown again. Terrible crowd. Buffalo sucks as a fucking wrestling crowd. But SmackDown opened with the Bloodline. Jey Uso says the Bloodline is in Buffalo now. For Jimmy Uso says tonight is all about Sami Zayn, Sami Uso. Because he was the MVP of War Games, called Sami Uso. Jay says he's earned his respect after what he did at War Games. He tells them to he ultimately led them to the victory. Jimmy asked how Sami is feeling. Sammy's saying Sami says he is feeling pretty freaking ucey. Big ucey chant starts breaking out. They do their own handshake. The Brawling Brutes music hits. Actually, it's really Sheamus's music that hits. Sheamus tells Sami he hates to be of a fellow ginger, but he will have a massive smile on his face because tonight is fight night. And they've got Sheamus losing to Sami Zayn, which was surprising to me in a very, 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 very fun match to open SmackDown. Bell rang. Sheamus delivers a shoulder tackle to Sami Zayn. Then Irish whips him into the corner. Looking for an arm drag. Sami blocks it. Sheamus hits another. Sheamus hits him with a lariat. Sheamus sends Zayn to the outside, tosses him to the barricade. They go to commercial break. They come back. Sheamus delivers an uppercut to Sami Zayn. Tosses Zayn into the ring. But Zayn catches Sheamus with a DDT, then goes for the pin. Sheamus kicks out. Zayn choked Sheamus on the middle rope, then knocks him to the mat. Hit him with a pair of right hands across the spine. At one point, Zayn delivers a tornado DDT. Sheamus was able to kick out of that. Sheamus tries to go for the 10 beat to the Bodron, but Sami tries to hit Sheamus with the 10 beats of the Bodron. Sheamus escapes, delivers a clothesline to the corner. He follows it up with body slam, sets him up for the 10 beats of the Bodron. Sami then escapes, ascends to the top rope, looks for a crossbody, but Sheamus catches him and hits him with an Irish curse backbreaker. Locks into the clover leaf, but Sami manages to get it to the bottom rope to break it. Sami knocks Sheamus onto the outside and follows up with a cannonball over the top rope. It's beautiful. 10 beats of the 20 beats of the Bodron gets hit with Sheamus on the ring apron, obviously. Sets him up for the bro kick. Jay causes distraction, allows Sami to kick Sheamus. Sami Jay causes a distraction and allows Jimmy to kick Sheamus. Sami follows up with a blue thunderbomb, goes for the pin. Again, Sheamus. They never used the blue thunderbomb as a finish. They probably should. Sheamus kicks out of that. Brute and the Bloodline begin brawling one another on the outside. Zayn sets up a haluva kick. Sheamus hits with the knee. Is while distracted by Jimmy. Jay delivers a super kick to the Sheamus. And then Zayn rolls up Sheamus for the win. Fun opening match here. One of the matches of the night. It's not the match of the night. That goes to the main event, but we'll talk about the main event in just a little bit. But I said this is going to set up Sheamus versus the Roman Reigns for the Royal Rumble. I prefer them doing Sheamus and Roman at the Royal Rumble over KO and Roman. Mainly because there's really no reason to do that match yet. I know a lot of people said do Sami versus Roman at the Elimination Chamber. I'm like, who says it has to be Sami versus Roman at the Royal Rumble? Why not Kevin Owens versus Roman at the Royal Rumble at the Elimination Chamber, and then Sami help Kevin Owens after Roman's getting his ass beat. I mean, you could do that. Next up, we had a hype package hyping up Legado del Fantasma in the main event. We then go to a backstage a segment with Megan Morant and Kofi Kingston. Kofi says Kofi's got big news. He says he's announcing himself for the Royal Rumble. So we ain't even gotten to January yet. We're just gotten to December, and Kofi's already announcing himself for the Royal Rumble. He says he's rooting for his boy Ricochet tonight. Tegan Nox says he's a disgrace to wrestling. Sheamus, or no, still thinking about Sheamus. Kofi says that he knows that they want a match, but Xavier is not in the arena tonight. He is more than happy to go one-on-one with any of them. Gunther says that sounds perfect and tells him to see him in the ring a little bit later on tonight. And then we got a Bray Wyatt promo. Bray Wyatt, again, same old kind of shtick here. I'm getting to the point where I love these promos. I'm just waiting. He needs to get in the ring. Thankfully, they are having a house show on December the 26th at Madison Square Garden. You know what? I would actually have him wrestle on that show. Have him wrestle LA Knight for the live crowd. That way they can get themselves familiar with each other. And he's rumored to have a match at the Royal Rumble with LA Knight. And the match is supposed to be something called a pitch black match, whatever that means, or blackout or whatever. But Bray in this promo says that society has given everyone a lavish lifestyle that revolves around technology, and people have forgotten that they were once animals, wild animals. He says that some must die so others can live, but nobody wants to talk about it because they will seem as a freak. They will be seen as a freak, basically. Bray says that he didn't hurt LA Knight. He says we heard him. He says that if he had been the one to attack LA Knight, there would be none left of Eli Drake himself. So again, this is not the first time we had another Bray Wyatt type segment a little bit later on. I'm probably not gonna lump that here. We got a video package next for the Ronda Rousey Shayna Baszler alliance. Then we got Shayna Baszler, Emma. Fine little match. Here it was a fine little quick match. Shayna wins. Karafuda clutch. Clean win here. Shayna Baszler. After the match, Shayna starts attacking Emma's arm. Shotzi heads to the ring. Then Raquel comes out there, fend off Shayna. Shotzi and Emma get to the feet, and again Shayna retreats. And then we get a video package. Oh, so before I get to that, the other rumored match that WrestlingNews.co did report that SmackDown Women's Title match at the Royal Rumble is going to be Ronda Rousey versus Raquel Gonzalez. Nobody wants to see that. Why does anybody want to see that? Moving on. We had another repackaging of Lacey Evans. This is the 700 repackaging of Lacey Evans. And I do not give a shit. I don't care about Lacey Evans. If you're going to keep repackaging her, how am I going to care about her? There you go. Kofi Kingston loses to Gunther. Fine little match. It was a fun little match. Braun Borman came out here to chase off Imperium, because why not? Gunther wins with not the power bomb, but a Last Symphony, which is a running power slam for the win. Gunther defeats Kofi Kingston. I can tell you this was a little way better than Kofi's match with Brock Lesnar 3 years ago. So there's that. Then we got a backstage segment with the Bloodline. Sami says he's going to go bring the car around so they can get some food. He tells Solo to go with Sami because he's been making a lot of enemies as of late. The two walk off before the Usos get to talking. Jimmy asks if he's ever told Sami about lying to him about talking to Kevin Owens. He says no. Sheamus comes in out of nowhere and starts beating the shit out of the Usos with the shillelagh and starts walking off with saying banger after banger after banger. Damage Control head to the ring because they have the tag titles, the meaningless tag titles. It's not a night stay for Michael Cole, obviously, because Bailey. I tweeted out earlier today, the video of Jay White repeating the word "fuck" like 8 or 9 times, and I said Michael Cole finding out that Bailey is on finding out Damage Control is on the run sheet, and it's so accurate. Bailey rags on Buffalo because Rough Buffalo sucks, and Michael Cole because Michael Cole's Bailey's the third best thing to happen to Michael Cole. The first one being Vince McMahon being out of there. The second one is Pat McAfee. The third is Bailey. Says Damage Control are here on SmackDown because the show needs ratings. I love you three girls, but you ain't gonna bring the ratings up. No, I hate to admit that one. She says her, Dakota Kai, and Io Sky were in the War Games for over 90 minutes. Not accurate at all, but okay. That's not match was only 30 something 36 minutes long. 38 minutes long, something like that. You were not in there for over 90 minutes. Come on now. Ask fans Bailey to ask fans if they understand what the match did to their bodies. I mean, they all cheer for Becky, who was only in there for a couple minutes, which is true. She was not in there very long. Liv Morgan hits a music hit. She heads to the ring. She says that she has a problem with the SmackDown women's locker room. If she has a problem with the SmackDown women's locker room, she's here to address it. She runs down the ring, starts taking out Damage Control. Bailey and Damage Control start taking the upper hand. Tegan Nox music hits. She comes out of the ring. Nice surprise here by Tegan Nox coming out here. Has the Oscar hair color going on here. They beat the shit out of Damage Control. Damage Control leaves, and it looks like this is going to be the the next title program for Io and Dakota, which is fine by me. Tegan Nox has had a banger match with Io Shirai. It was a year or so ago. It was in 2020. I believe it was in 2020. For the NXT Women's title, which was a phenomenal match. So nice to see Tegan Nox back. She has had visa issues, so it's great to see her back. Next up, we get a Legado del Fantasma heading to the ring for his match for Santos' match with Ricochet. And then we get before that, we had a Karen Cross Scarlett promo basically saying they're putting Rey Mysterio on notice. This man is going to get beaten so bad that he's going to go back to Monday Night Raw. And he maybe not even Monday Night Raw. He may go to NXT. So who knows? And then he'll have to deal with Joe Gacy, and he's a weird ass, and then all that, and he might just retire after that. Then we got an Uncle Howdy promo, says he knows how Bray Wyatt thinks and feels, and says, "Revel on what you are." That's all you have to say there. Main event time. Ricochet defeated Santos Escobar to win the World Cup tournament and get a shot at the Intercontinental Championship. This match was phenomenal. This match was fantastic. Okay, Buffalo crowd sucks ass, but this match was great. At one point in the match, there was a fucking. I believe there was a Hurricanrana reversal that looked phenomenal. At one point in the match, Santos hits the Lion Tamer, which Michael Cole called it that. Ricochet was able to escape. Santos Escobar delivers a elbow cross to the spine, an elbow across the spine, then locks in a modified bow and arrow submission. Ricochet reverses that into a pin. Escobar kicks out. Ricochet delivers a shoulder to the midsection of Santos Escobar. And then we had another spot here where Ricochet delivered a boot to Santos midsection before the two leveled with one another with cross bodies, which is great. Well, I love that. I love one of those type of spots where the two wrestlers are going for the same move and for effects. They spill onto the outside. Ricochet charges at Escobar. Escobar ducks out of the way. Ricochet lands on the barricade, which dude is like, it's like his feet is like a magnet. Okay. Escobar meets him there, delivers us. This is the Hurricane Rana spot it was off the barricade. The crowd finally woke up for that. A Northern Light suplex by Ricochet, Proto suplex, and then a moonsault. Goes for the pin. Escobar kicks out. Ricochet climbs to the top rope once more, looking for the shooting star press. Escobar gets his knees up, goes for the pin. Ricochet kicks out. Ricochet looks. Escobar goes for the basically a one-winged angel type of move. It's fireman's carry into the Death Valley driver. They call it the Phantom Driver, which is a great fucking name for a finish, by the way. And a movie too. That sounds dope. Gets reversed into hits a reverse Hurricane Rana. Does Ricochet. He hands down some right hands, then places him on the top rope. Ricochet reverses it into a reverse Hurricane Rana from the top rope. Few super kicks. A 630 for the splash for the win. Ricochet wins after the match. Gunther comes out, stares down Ricochet. In 2 weeks, it's going to be Ricochet and Gunther for the Intercontinental Championship in Chicago. Chicago's going to eat that match up. That was SmackDown for December the 2nd. Next week, I believe we have a tag team title match. It's going to be the Sheamus and Drew McIntyre taking on the winner of the Usos and Elias Matt Riddle match. And I do believe we're going to hear more from Bray Wyatt next week. We're also going to have Shayna Baszler taking on Shotzi. Ronda Rousey will be back. Don't know what's going to happen with Tegan Nox. I'm not even sure if she's on the Smack. I mean, according to WWE.com, she's on the SmackDown brand. There's another thing that was announced for SmackDown. Yes. Braun Strowman's going to wrestle, I believe, somebody from Imperium. So that's going to happen next week. And I think that's about it for SmackDown. But yeah, the SmackDown, like I said, was in-ring wise, outside of Braun Strowman coming out here, was actually a fun show. I enjoyed SmackDown this week. Nothing too serious happened on the show. We had 2 great matches. We had the first opening match, Sheamus and Sami Zayn, and then we had an incredible World Cup final match between Escobar and Ricochet. In between, we had an okay match with Gunther and Kofi Kingston, and the other match with Shayna Baszler and Emma. Obviously, Bray Wyatt got some great promos, but we gotta have more. We gotta get him in the ring eventually. So, yeah, that was SmackDown. What's coming up this month? I did watch Rampage. So Rampage, I did watch that. We have more match announcements for Dynamite that's coming up. So here's the updated card for not Rampage, for Dynamite. The Acclaimed will defend the AEW Tag Team titles friendly against FTR. FTR is getting their title match. We got the Dynamite Diamond Battle Royal. We got Ricky Starks, Jungle Boy, Dalton Castle, who probably will be defending his 6-man tag team titles at Final Battle. We'll talk about Final Battle in a second. Ethan Page, like I said, Ricky Starks, Brian Cage, Sean Dean, Matt Hardy, and more to be announced. Samoa Joe will defend the TNT Championship against Darby Allin with Sting and Wardlow barred from the arena. are ringside. MJF will speak after his actions at uh, uh, Dynamite last night, on Wednesday. I will have actually. We'll talk about. I'll talk about it right now. So that was basically the end of William Regal in AEW. He's going back to WWE. Apparently he had an opt out clause in his contract that will get him back. So it looks like he's going back to WWE. Still should have never been released in the first place. Don't know what he does on his opponent's return in AEW, but I'm looking forward to in WWE, but we'll figure that out. Jade Cargill, Layla Gray, and Red Velvet will take on Kiara Hogan, Madison Rayne, Sky Blue. I will not give a two fucking shits about that. Tony Schiavone will sit down with AEW Women's Champion Jamie Hayter. And Claudio Castagnoli and Willie Udo will take on Jake Hager and Dan Garcia. We knew about that last week. Final Battle has more matches announced for their show. So we do know that officially on the card, we do know that Chris Jericho will defend the Ring of Honor Championship against Claudio Castagnoli, and Daniel Garcia will defend the Hero Championship on against Willie Udo. 3 new matches were actually added to the show. We did find out officially earlier in the afternoon before Rampage went on the air. Or actually, it was either Friday or Thursday. It was either tonight or on Thursday. Mercedes Martinez will defend the Ring of Honor Women's Championship against Athena. Athena's probably winning that championship in her home state of Texas. It just makes sense. Samoa Joe will defend. The challenge was issued, but it looks like the match is going to happen anyways. Samoa Joe will defend the TV championship against Juice Robinson, who was announced on commentary to officially sign with AEW. So that should be fun. Shane Taylor and JD Griffey will team up to challenge Keith Lee in seems like it's going to be Swerve and a Glory again. That sounds like a lot of fun. We still don't have a Ring of Honor championship match. I'm assuming it's still going to be the Kingdom. I'm assuming the Kingdom is going to get involved in the AEW Tag Team Title match on Wednesday. Dalton Castle and the boys will probably defend the 6-man tag titles against somebody. I don't know who. You know what? Fuck it. I put them against the House of Black and have House of Black win the Ring of Honor 6-man tag titles. Why not? So that's the update on SmackDown on AEW television. I do have something that I want to talk about. It's the year-end awards. I did these last year when I was doing the shows exclusively on Spotify. So we have year-end awards. That is a thing that I usually do almost every year. But I'm excited to do this again because I love I just love doing the year-end awards. I believe we have a total of 9 categories. I may add a 10th one. So we have match of the year, overall wrestler of the year, female wrestler of the year, male wrestler of the year, show of the year, promo of the year, not promotion of the year, return of the year, shocking moment of the year, and I do have another one. Worst booked wrestlers of the year. Worst booked wrestlers not meaning as in they're terrible or anything. More like, there's just been booked really badly. So I can tell you right now, confirmed for one of the match of the year, who nomination is one of my favorite matches of the year, Starlight Kid. It's actually my match of the year. Starlight Kid versus Azumi for the High Speed Championship. That's going to be on here. The other one that's on overall wrestler of the year, Jon Moxley, is I'm just going to go through the nomination. So the not top nomination, but just one of each category. Female wrestler of the year, I have Mayu Iwatani on here. Roman Reigns is on male wrestler of the year. Worst book wrestler of the year, I do have Ronda Rousey on here. Tag team of the year on here. We do have the FTR on here. I have two women's tag teams on here. One is a Stardom tag team and another one's a WWE tag team, but I will let you guys figure out which one that is. Show of the year I do have on here is Historic Crossover, more recent, very good show. I thought it was really good. Return of the year, you can already tell. I don't. The nominations are pretty good, but the one's probably going to win it. It's the Bray Wyatt's probably on there. Shocking moment on there. I have a lot of them. The Vince retiring on here is probably going to win that one too. And promotion of the year, I do have Stardom listed here, so it's it can be. I'm thinking of adding worst show of the year, but I'm not 100% sure on that. Voting does not start until December the 10th. Immediately following Final Battle is when I will determine the final results. Or not results. I will determine the actual when this thing starts. And you'll be able to vote all the way up until the Royal Rumble. And once the Royal Rumble is over with, actually it's gonna happen a few hours before the Royal Rumble, so voting won't close once the pre-show officially starts. You won't be able to vote anymore. I will close the voting for that time period, and after that show, I will dedicate an entire podcast for the year-end awards for 2022. I'm really looking forward to this. You guys are hopefully you guys will like the picks on here. I had to be as unbiased as possible. So if you see people in here that I normally wouldn't choose, like for example, I'm just going to throw a name out here. I don't care for Bianca Belair, right? Because she's in female wrestler of the year. So there's that. But yeah, that's all I have to say about all that stuff. Like I said, year-end awards, that whole poll voting stuff will start next weekend. Following Final Battle, and we'll go all the way through the Royal Rumble, or the start of the Royal Rumble on the 28th of January, and then we'll do the results on that poll are the results of the voting sometime that weekend, hopefully. I'll probably do it on that Monday before Raw. Depending on how I'm still trying to figure this process out. But yeah, I have been Matt the Misfit. This has been the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. Excuse me. I'm tired. I'm going to go to bed. I'm going to edit this down. I'm going to upload it. Then going to go to bed. But like I said, links will be all down in the description. You know the drill. The subscribe, the like button, all that jazz and stuff. Like I said, I've been Matt the Misfit. This is the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I will see you guys back here for Monday Night Raw. I promise I will be doing a Monday Night Raw review this coming Monday. Who knows? Eric Young might pop up on Monday Night Raw. Who knows? Using that whole SAnitY thing. We'll find out. We have Final Battle predictions coming up sometime this week. I'm assuming the Kingdom gets involved on Wednesday. I could do my predictions for Final Battle on Thursday. We got the AEW review on Wednesday night. SmackDown, as always, is going to be on Friday nights. The Final Battle pay-per-view review will be up on Saturday night as well. And then polls open. No pay-per-view review the rest of the year up until the Royal Rumble. And then we are on the road to WrestleMania 39 in Hollywood, California, where the potential main event is probably The Rock versus Roman Reigns, or the match I want, Cody Rhodes and The Rock. So, not Cody Rhodes, and even though that'd be fun, Cody Rhodes and Roman Reigns. Until then, I will see you guys for Raw. We're out.